He began hearing sounds in his ears. Voices in his head screamed that demons were all around and had to be destroyed. He started smashing furniture, grabbed an icon, prayed, but it didn't help. Then Vasily Bushtarenko decided to act. He fired up the stove and began throwing his son's favorite toys into it. His wife, Alina Byzova, watched but didn't think much of her husband's strange behavior. Then he approached the electric stove, picked up his 2-year-old son, and began pressing him against the scorching hot metal. The child cried and struggled, but the father pressed harder. Alina tore the boy from his arms and ran for help, leaving both children with the crazed father. Vasily didn't work, drank heavily, and used substances. Alina, who had given birth to 2 children by the age of 18, drank with him and inflicted physical pain on the toddlers. They didn't have money for bread, but always had alcohol. In another fit of madness, Vasily again grabbed the icon, prayed, and seized 8-month-old Ruslan, who was crying loudly. He threw the baby into the blazing stove. The house filled with inhuman screams. Vasily was convinced he held a demon, not his son. Then silence. Ruslan burned along with his toys. Then he grabbed his second son, Alexei, and tried to shove his head into the stove. Alina ran in at the sound of screams, pushed her husband, snatched the child, and ran to a neighbor. The neighbor saw them and shut the door. Alina then ran to her sister, and from there they called the police and ambulance. She didn't know Ruslan was already dead. Alexei was in critical condition. His face was burned, and 90% of his body was covered in burns. He was urgently hospitalized. Intensive care, endless procedures, loneliness. He called for his mother, but she never came. A month later, when doctors said he could be discharged, Alina didn't show up. Alexei was adopted by a kind woman. She helped restore his health and surrounded him with the love his birth mother couldn't give. Vasily was sentenced to 18 years in prison. Alina remarried, had 3 more children, and continued to inflict physical pain on them.